Blessings, everyone. Today, Spirit is nudging to share a romance angel oracle with a life purpose. Because many of us are in relationships, it is a time right now where a lot of people are starting to kind of reevaluate, reassess where they're at. Where are they going with this? What does this mean to us? And a lot of times we're making plans based on a relationship, and we kind of forget who we are, that though there's two involved, we're individuals. And although even with divine counterparts, there may be a mission that they hold together, they also have their individual light and their individual soul contracts that they're fulfilling. And so today, Spirit is just kind of nudging. Saint Germain has been coming through a lot today, and some of the archangels just kind of connecting and saying that, remember that romantic love is a beautiful expression of love itself, that which we are. But there has to be a place within two that doesn't just have a sole purpose as romantic love, but there's a purpose within each. And if they lose this purpose, what they're bringing to the table, it's very easy for that energy to stop flowing, because now it's no longer being in that space of love, in love with each other. It's trying too hard to mirror. And being a twin flame doesn't mean that we're wanting an exact duplicate of everything that we like, we want, who we are. That's very misguided. Being a divine counterpart is that counterpart. These are two beautiful lights that have soul contracts, that have decided to create the third mission, which is the breath of light of source. Whatever that they do in their own space, on their own journey, in their own way, breathes that light of source between them, and which they can then share, which is usually the third mission in that space of love. But remember that we do have our own contracts and our own journey that we must honor. And if any part of this in a relationship, romantic relationship, becomes distorted, and one or the other isn't sticking to their journey, leaning one way or the other, not in that space of compromise from love, then this gets stuck. This energy gets stuck. It's not moving. It's at a stalemate. And then it becomes very difficult for the purpose to come through. And so with this reading, they've asked just something to contemplate as a reminder that when we're in a relationship, that we must honor and keep our journey that we've been on since the day we took our first breath as the foremost. It's imperative. And then as we come together in the unity, we uplift each other on that journey. We celebrate each other. We inspire each other. Never invalidate. Never put more importance on either, because both are very sacred. First, I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a medium of light. And I ask the angels, the guides, the ascended masters to please step forward and help bring a message for those in a loving relationship for the highest good. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm just going to shuffle. I do 3. The first one brings the energy of Source. The second one brings the energy of the soul, higher self. Spirit or higher self. They're correcting me. And then the third is for the soul, which is the contract, the personality, the expression of Source that we have embodied here. It animates the physical. And with that, I'm just going to kind of move the cards around. And usually Spirit will say, take the one if it moves up. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. And as the energies pull forward, the angels are saying, marriage in the formal sense, but also marriage that we are marrying our ideas together. We're marrying our journeys, as they say, side by side. And although we have this idea that it's a divine counterpart, that they become one, we are all one. We are all one. We are all in this beautiful web of life, pulsating in and out of the now, the eternal now. So this stands true for all of us here. We all come from one source. But when we're having a romantic relationship, or maybe we're divine counterparts, we are marrying. We are coming into a soul contract that was blessed far before we got here. And now we're recognizing that in the physical. And so they are saying that we have to remember this, that not only do we have soul contracts with everyone in our lifetime, as simple or complicated as that may be, the one that we have with our romantic partners are very special, because those are the ones that when things get very difficult, when life feels like it's caving in, when we lose our way, when we forget the purpose, they gently remind us, lovingly, unjudgmentally. I have to excuse my cat. He's in the cat litter box. So basically what Spirit is saying is, don't take any poop. It's meant to share. It is a marriage. It's a marriage of ideas. It's a marriage of soul contracts. It's a marriage of a journey. Now, the next one that they want me to do today is the life purpose. You have to excuse me. I have to kind of sit back a little bit here because it's on my channel here. Everybody will say that it is spontaneous. This isn't, I've got like the fancy title and a fancy backdrop, whatever's coming through in the moment, whatever's happening around me. This is real. This is life. And being spiritual and getting messages from Spirit, they have a sense of humor. I'm sure everybody knows that. But it doesn't mean that it's going to fix everything. It's not going to be without complications or glitches. But it means it helps us navigate. Connecting with our guides and with Spirit helps us navigate this lifetime. It just helps us remember. So we're still going to have these lessons or moments where we're doing videos and the cat decides to use the litter box. It's all part of it. And we can either get overwhelmed by it or just kind of laugh and say, well, okay then, that's the way it goes. Now I'm going to shuffle this one. And this kind of gives those watching in a relationship or divine counterparts an idea of what a purpose could be at this time. And this is a general reading. This is a general collective reading. So it doesn't mean it's specific to any one group or person. This is just kind of a roundabout vibe that a lot of romantic partners are going through, or maybe divine counterparts at this time, that they might be sharing this purpose, and they're saying, take this one, let go, walk away from the situation in order to resolve it. You know what the angels are saying? And you can see this card. There's a winged horse in the back, the Pegasus. Actually, that's a Pegasus unicorn. What they're saying is that a lot of times when we get into a heated discussion, we want a resolution, or we want the answers right away. Tell me what's going on. Why is this happening? What's wrong? Why are you saying this? And sometimes the best action to take is to let it go in the moment. Let it go. Sit in our space and trust that it looks like she's perhaps contemplating or very sad. They're making me notice the way her head is tilted down. We just need to stop. We need to stop distracting ourselves. We need to stop going into retrospect and trying to use old theories and old ideas and experiences to measure what's happening in the moment, in the now, especially when we're communicating. Spirit is saying a lot of times we have these triggers where we're just lumping everybody together and saying, oh, you remind me of my ex, or this is just like every other relationship I've ever had, so on and so forth. And we have to let that go. We have to let go of this concept, because even we're not the same person that we were then. It's impossible, if we are in a space of expanded awareness, that any of us are going to be reacting the way we did in our past. And so we need to sit with these things when we're having discussions and there's a kind of a stalemate, or maybe the person that we're having the discussion with isn't ready to speak about something. Forcing an answer, forcing an emotion, or forcing an agreement on something is just going to cause more of a pull away from each other. You have to excuse me because I have to keep switching. So Spirit is saying at this time, let go. Let go of not just the idea of being right, but let go of when things are getting to that space where it seems like we're not going to see eye to eye, or we're not going to see something the same way. Maybe there's some values that are different. Maybe there's a moral compass that's different. Maybe there's an idea of how something should be that's a little bit different. That love will always figure it out. And it's important that we allow ourselves in that space to get in touch with the heart space on our own and say, is disagreeing like this hurting more than if we came to a compromise? Does it have to be fully one way or the other? Is that really going to feel that good? If I do get my side of the story understood and or get my way in a certain situation, is that really going to feel as good as knowing that the person that I love isn't hurting anymore, or the person that I love is feeling understood and heard? Because just because we're compromising doesn't mean that we're invalidating ourselves then. Doesn't mean we're giving away control. It means that we're recognizing that there's two souls sharing a space with feelings and a heart. And what's important when you love someone isn't invalidating yourself. You're not invalidating the other either. But recognizing that if someone is hurting or sad or frustrated, angry because of something that we've done or said or we're not agreeing on, let's set the actual idea aside and address the feeling. Because from the space, once the feeling is in the right space, once the heart space is in the right space, you're going to come to a definitive choice. You're going to come to a definitive answer, one that will serve the highest good. But if we just want to go from a choice of, well, this is what I've always done, this is the way it is for me, this is who I am, lump it or leave it, or I didn't do that, I didn't mean to hurt you. If someone's hurting and they're crying, they're hurting and crying, whether we believe we've done anything or not. At the end of the day, this isn't codependency. This isn't about the latest mumbo jumbo that we read on the internet about psychology. This is just about simply remembering that we are all light. We're all brothers and sisters from the same space. And when we have a relationship, we've decided that we're blending our soul contracts together so that we may take the journey together and we're not out trying to hurt one another. Always remember that the person that's sitting across from you having the discussion, if they are meant to be with you and you're meant to be with them, it's not about tearing each other down. It's not about hurting each other. It's about understanding each other. And if we listen to understand and not to answer, we'll remember that. And if we speak not to validate, but to express what we're feeling, we will be able to connect in that heart space and we will come to a resolution eventually. But we have to know what we're feeling first, and we have to not worry about whether we're validating that with another person. That we understand ourselves. Know thyself. So the first card today for the lovers, romantic partners, divine counterparts is the wedding. Remember that in our own way, whether it's a literal wedding that you're married or you've decided to spend time together for as long as the relationship is loving, whatever place you want to put that in, romantic partners, life partners, lovers, best friends with attributes, however you want to call it, it's irrelevant at this point. Spirit is saying that just remember that we've made a decision. Once we make that decision that we want to spend our lives together in some fashion for as long as we're given that grace to be together, that we're taking on the responsibility and having integrity, that it is about you love each other or you're falling in love. And that means that we're recognizing how the person not just makes us feel when we're around them, but we're being mindful of how they feel around us. And we care about how they feel around us. We're listening. We are marrying our highest good. And so with that, the angels are pulling their energy back. There's a lot of situations that are unhealthy. And I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or counselor of any sort. any message that I brought through today is listening in a higher consciousness to the unseen world of spirit and translating the information that I am downloading and receiving to share. I am learning as I'm sharing. And so that is a great honor to be able to do that. Take what resonates and leave what does not. Many beautiful blessings, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. Much love.